Yo guys, Neb here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to get to champs before the Chapter 2 Season 7 FNCS begins. If you haven't already, then don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and yeah, let's get into it. So, for the format of the video, first I'm going to be going over the new arena format, then I'm going to be going over drop spots off spawn, then I'm going to be going over tilting and mid-game, and then finally some OP things that you guys are going to want to be implementing into your arena gameplay. So guys, as you probably will all know, recently Epic, with the release of the new arena system, have changed the whole point system, and in my opinion it's probably made it slightly easier to get to champs, but others would say it's probably slightly harder. In my opinion, this decision all comes down to what game mode you are going to be playing. If you ask me, I think that trios and duos are going to be the easiest to gain points, just purely to the fact that Epic recently changed the amount of points you get for elim in these game modes to 15, which means if you're eliminating a full trio, you're getting 45 points. So definitely for you W keyers out there, trios and duos is definitely the wave. However, if you're more of a placement warrior, then solos is probably better, as it's a lot more calm, easier to disengage from fights, and yeah, overall you're just going to have a lot more of a smoother ride to champs. So it's more about just playing to your playstyles, if anything. Now shifting our focus over onto the format in terms of the meta, not much has literally changed, so you guys are going to want to be implementing what you guys know from other seasons into your gameplay. With the removal of the railgun and the recon scanner, there is really not much to adapt to, making it so much easier for you guys to get to champs and making it literally the same as last season. On your journey to champs, you should be W keying to around a 3 to 4k mark, and then from there on you can play slightly more endgame and taking those fights once you've got those placement points to refill your bus fare. So, when picking your drop spot, you're mainly going to want to find somewhere that suits your playstyle. If you're a slightly safer player, then I strongly recommend, the classic Rainbow Rentals, Castle, Flopper Island, Broken Houses, all those edge of the map spots with fish and lots of loot spawns so you can have pads to get away from fights. For the slightly more confident W key players, I'd strongly recommend these sort of alien POI spots with the mounted turret and a pad to rotate out. Here you'll probably be contested by about 2 to 5 players. You can use the mounted turret in fights, it's super OP with an insane fire rate, and you can also fight with great loot. Once you've won a spawn, I recommend rotating into the center of the map. This means that if you take a fight in the mid game, you're also going to be inside the zone, meaning you're not going to have to rotate anywhere, because this season the fights are really long due to the chug cannon and almost everyone on the map carrying max bigs and max minis. Dying in these super long fights can be super tilting, so that leads me on to the next point, which is how to not tilt. So as you guys all know, my advice for tilting never really changes, but let's just go over it once again for you new viewers. You've probably heard it many times before from myself or other YouTubers, and it's basically that if you are on a downward spiral of just losing points inch by inch, then you should definitely come offline. It will refresh your mentality and overall just make you more motivated to grind. The most effective ways to avoid tilting include not dying off spawn and winning your mid-game fights. So, on the topic of mid-game, I honestly don't think you should really be fighting too many people. As I mentioned earlier, fights in this season take way too long as people are either padding away or just constantly healing up with the too many healing items that are currently in the game. Sadly, a common fight in this season mainly looks like, hit each other 100, go box up, heal up. Go hit each other 100, go box up, heal up. And it's basically just a war of who has the most heals. The one and only way of preventing this is having really good piece control, being able to get that opponent inside a box and ultimately just finish off the fight really quickly. So therefore, if you do have good piece control, then feel free to go for some of these fights. However, if you're somebody who aren't playing for practice and you're purely just playing to get to champs and get into that FNCS, then make sure that you're not taking these fights as you just don't want to risk it. And to avoid the fights, my best advice would be to just simply rotate into the zone as soon as possible. And one way to help that would be definitely landing at one of those alien POIs once again, as they have a launch pad. So guys, as mentioned at the start of the video, not much really has changed with this season in terms of the meta. Therefore, most tips will be similar, however I have got some to share with you, so here we go. So, linking with this whole concept of fights taking really long and usually draining you of lots of your loot, here we have a good tip to help you guys be less scuffed when just playing the rest of your game out after these fights. As you can see on screen right here, every 100 mats I use, I tend to switch material. What this does is after you've killed your opponent, you tend to get more even spread of mats instead of just having one pile of cap, which obviously means you're going to have more mats and obviously going to leave you less scuff for the rest of your game. The next tip is going to be a really nice one to just simply catch your opponent off guard. As you can see currently on screen, demonstrated by FaZe Martos, he resets his floor so he can put down a launch pad with the stair behind him. Peanut Butter edits, put down the launch pad, and he quickly goes into the player's box. The player does not expect him to go at this high speed, and then it's an easy kill for Martos. In my opinion, you should definitely try this out, as Martos is usually the king at finding the meta early on in the season, so maybe it will help you in the future. And finally, the last one on the screen just shows me using the turret. I mean, you should definitely use these if you have the opportunity to, just so OP, and yeah, that's basically it. So guys, if this video did help you in any way, shape or form, then please don't hesitate to subscribe. Before I wrap it off, I just want to give a quick shout out to ks2fly.2sav on Instagram for guessing the pro I killed in the last video. And yeah guys, thanks for watching.
Check him in, yeah, boots and rags. Suicide doors, hit a 10 all black. Rapping to your pay straight in cash. Brand new search, get a brand name fame. Got me a check, I'ma